bring to the stage right now, these guys, so fantastic. They are an action/sci-fi audio sitcom and sketch show and podcast. I've had a chance to work with them on stage before. Listen to their podcast. I think you're really going to enjoy them. So funny, so amazing. Please give it up for Hadron Gospel Hour. Come on, make some noise.
Alright people, places. We go live in moments. Our War of the Worlds homage must be perfect, and we've only got one shot at this.
Why is it that we only have one shot at this, Doc?
Well, Michael, I suppose we have several shots, but...
Actually, quite a few more than several, Dr. Oppenheimer. While some of us do have a finite lifespan, it is very likely, even with such limitations, we could get thousands of shots at getting our homage to H.G. Wells' War of the Worlds perfect, given the proper time frame.
Ha! Just like monkeys type in Bixby, am I right?
Non-human humor.
Did I say that out loud?
This pleases me, Ashley.
Non-humor is more like it, Higby. But of course, inorganic entities such as a sentient Higgs boson particle and a sassy artificial intelligence don't have trouble with the distinctly organic nuances and complexities of humor. So I don't fault you two.
Hey, look out who you're calling on humorous, Doc.
I'm sorry,
Cyrus.
Yes. It's just that we finally got an opportunity to really make an impact here. A chance to use this historic event to raise the profile of our podcast in order to spread the word about the horrific Hadron event.
And a chance at a lucrative ProductCorp sponsorship. Don't forget that.
Yes, Michael, and a chance at a lucrative ProductCorp sponsorship. Although that's a secondary consideration, of course.
Of course. What's the event?
I'm not quite sure. There must be some anniversary or another. This old horse gets dragged out for a fresh beating every other year, it seems. But our new ProductCorp sponsors expect an epic science fiction spectacular, and by God, we'll give it to them!
Yeah! So commercial, you guys.
I feel the same way, Cyrus. The manufactured meat generated by advertising and the willingness of humans to subject themselves to their own commodification are such baffling, self-destructive phenomena that even my quantum processing cannot make sense of it.
Yeah, it's gross! Hey, don't we hate ProductCorp?
Well, yeah, but if they're paying our bills, it's a lot easier to like them.
Please be quiet, all of you. I'm taking a selfie to commemorate this historic broadcast. Hashtag HGH Lit Roast. And I need to concentrate.
Now, I know most of those words don't belong together. Okay, so everybody got their scripts. We probably have a few minutes to go over it before the show. Ashley, can you start a countdown?
Of course, Mike. Initiating countdown. Countdown initiated. T-minus 13 minutes to broadcast.
Thanks, Ash. Oh, and Doc, just a little FYI, there are a couple of little rewrites in there.
Oh, I trust you, Michael. And of course, I understand the necessity of adapting such stuffy, verbose material as H.G. Wells' writing into a more palatable form for live consumption. Just as long as it's not pandering. You know how I loathe pandering, Michael. So, is everybody ready for some hot Wells on Wells action? I said, is everybody ready for some hot Wells on Wells action?
I think we just established that. Also, pandering.
Yes.
You know, reading through this thing, it's kind of set to sound like a real alien invasion.
Indeed, Michael. Almost heavy-handedly so.
Right. So, don't you think that it might be disturbing for some of our listeners, or?
You've never heard about Orson Welles' original 1938 broadcast, have you?
No. But I love Orson Welles. I mean, Citizen Kane, The Stranger.
Touch of evil.
Right?
What's up with Charleston Heston as a Mexican gentleman, though?
Actually, without Heston's involvement, it is unlikely that the film would have been made.
Yes, excellent. We're all in agreement that Orson Welles was a genius. Perhaps that's why I feel a kinship with him. But the point is, Michael, that the original broadcast of War of the Worlds did indeed cause mass hysteria. Many listeners really believed that they were listening to an actual alien invasion.
Well, I'm not surprised. It's a nightmarish scenario. They should have at least read a warning before the broadcast.
Well, they did that, Michael. I mean, it was a cursory announcement, but easily missed, but still.
A quick scan of my records indicate that the broadcast resulted in at least 3 documented deaths during hasty evacuations, 14 attempted suicides, and over 12,000 angry letters to the Columbia Broadcasting Network. Oh, and a plot point in the Adventures of Buckaroo Banzai. Yeah, my records indicated.
Wow, sounds like Wells really had some fun scaring the bejesus out of the country. Well, he was a prankster.
Which Wells was that?
Orson.
Oh, right.
Actually, it is highly probable that Wells' partner at the Mercury Theater on the air, John Houseman, was equally complicit in the deception.
Which?
Still Orson.
John Houseman was involved in the War of the Worlds? I know him. Paper Chase, right? I'm John Houseman.
That's a John Houseman impression I figure.
Thanks, buddy.
Interesting, isn't it? Sometimes the best way to do an impression is to have the character say their name. A. Scott Simon, right?
Yeah, I guess so.
Oh, Lance Devereaux. Oh, Holland, sugar.
That's Lance Devereaux! I'll take it.
Ooh, impressions pleases me. Let me try. I'm Smolder. Just the brushes.
Okay, yes,
I'll show you, but I'm too old. I'm too tired. I'm too fucking blind. If I was the man I was 5 years ago, I'd take the flames over this place.
Okay. So, we should probably try to run a few lines.
excellent idea, Michael. Why don't you read the role of roving reporter Carl Phillips? Let's jump to page 12, where the cylinder from Mars first opens. Crucial scene.
Okay, yeah, sure. Good heavens. Something's wriggling out of the shadow like a gray snake. Now it's another one. And another. And another one. They look like tentacles to me. I can see the thing's body. It's large as a bear, and it glistens like wet leather. But that face, ladies and gentlemen, it's indescribable. Okay, so first off, he just described it. And secondly, that's a lot of tentacles.
Well, tentacles are always in fashion, Michael. Perhaps something to do with the population's proclivity for polymorphous perverse?
Witness the enduring popularity of H.P. Lovecraft.
And Walter Sickert.
And hentai.
Hentai?
That's Japanese tentacle porn.
Hey guys, it takes all kinds, right?
Indeed it does. All right, let's jump ahead a bit. Page 14, Michael.
Okay. A hot shape is rising out of the pit. I can make out a small beam of light against the mirror. What's that? There's a jet of flame springing from the mirror, and it leaps right out at the advancing soldiers. It strikes them head on. Good Lord! They're turning into flame. It's some sort of heat ray.
Jesus, what was that?
Oh, sorry, Doctor. I was just so excited to fire up that heat ray sound effect.
Temperature humor?
Temperature humor. It's pretty cool.
I see.
The sound effect is from George Pal's 1953 film version.
Well, isn't that just...
And it's royalty free!
Yes, excellent. If you don't mind refraining...
Of course, Doctor.
Michael, pray continue.
Right. Ladies and gentlemen, the devastation. The countryside is in flames. I've moved to a safer location for now, but is there any place on Earth that is truly safe from this devastating heat ray?
Jesus, it's me!
Oops, hot trot.
All right, listen, Higsby, we've only got... Ashley, time, please?
T-minus 4 minutes to broadcast.
4 minutes, Higsby. And we're never going to get through this if you keep playing that damnable heat ray. Seriously? Are you kidding me?
But it wasn't...
That time it was me. You guys just look so ridiculous when you're terror-spazzing.
She's not wrong.
Oh, I almost forgot. Doctor and Mike, I got you a gift to commemorate tonight's broadcast.
A gift?
Yes, here.
Oh, it's an original 78
A
RPM.
recording of the original 1938 War of the Worlds broadcast. Pretty neat, right?
Wow, that's great. Thanks, Higsby.
Indeed, Higsby, this is extremely neat. How did you even locate this record? 78s are notorious for being incredibly brittle and breakable. No. Well,
I could reconstitute it using my quantum powers, Doctor.
oh, don't bother. I'm not sure I'd listen to it anyway. I mean, how much patience can one have for speculative fiction audio drama anyway? Fairly tiresome.
What's the reverse of pandering?
You mean like fishing for sympathy?
Maybe.
Well, let's keep moving. I'll take a crack at Professor Pearson's monologue. It's an incredibly poignant portrait of a man's isolation in the aftermath of a horrific event. I do so identify with Wells and Wells.
Which one?
Both of them!
In which order?
I don't know. Chronological.
You know, both H.G. Wells and Orson Welles were considered coxmen in their day.
Coxman?
He means they were Lotharios.
Yeah, well, H.G. Wells was an advocate of free love. This was way back in Victorian England, by the way. And Orson, well, he apparently got around.
Yes, well, I wouldn't know anything about that.
How interesting. Dr. Oppenheimer and Mike, you two could be considered coxmen, right?
What? What are you talking about, Higgsby?
Last season, your romantic conquest of your alternate universe counterparts.
Okay,
No.
yeah, we don't need to go there.
Absolutely not.
But Ashley tells me that according to her records, you are both very generous lovers, and more than sexually adequate when making sweet, sweet love to your parallel universe doppelgangers.
There's no reason to.
I really wish I
At
had
this point, no.
I have the archived video of both incidents. It won't take longer than 4 minutes to watch.
Come on, Ash, let's not.
Yeah, this is positively.
Wait! 4 minutes? That's the total runtime?
Total.
For both?
Yep.
Could we get back to this recruit, please?
It's unnecessary.
Oh, come on, Doc. You know I love your soliloquizing.
But somebody knows.
Okay, very well, but I'm sure it won't be as good as it could have been.
Just read the lines, Doc.
2 minutes to broadcast.
Okay, Professor Pearson.
Unnecessary.
As I set down these notes on paper, I'm obsessed by the thought that I may be the last living man on Earth. I've been hiding in this empty farmhouse near Grover's Mill, a small island of daylight cut off by black smoke from the rest of the world. All that happened before the arrival of these monstrous creatures in the world now seems part of another life. A life that has no continuity with the present, furtive existence of the lonely derelict who pencils these words on the back of some astronomical notes, bearing the signature of Richard Pearson. I look down at my blackened hands, my torn shoes, my tattered clothes, and I try to connect them with the professor who lives at Princeton, and who on the night of October 30th glimpsed through his telescope an orange splash of light on a distant planet. My wife, my colleagues, my students, my books, my observatory, my world. Where are they? Did they ever exist? Am I Richard Pearson? I cast my mind back to a remote farm in Lincolnshire where Mrs. Buckley lives. Every July, peas grow there. Wait a minute, what is this? What is this claptrap? Mrs. Buckley, peas!
It's a ProductCorp ad. We figured we need to fit it in somewhere.
Oh. Very well then, but it breaks up this beautiful wall of text.
And that's a bad thing?
Snap noted, Michael. I cast my mind back to a remote farm in Lincolnshire where Mrs. Buckley lives. Every July, peas grow there. We aren't even in the fields. You see, I'm in a dilapidated barn in a scorched wasteland surrounded by smoking corpses. What?
Look, it's the copy they gave us. Listen, Doc, if you don't want to restock the bunker's ration packs and get decent mics, we can tell ProductCorp that we're not interested.
No, I'll get through it. It's just insane. Okay. Every July, peas grow there.
It's in July.
In July.
Yeah.
Well, that doesn't make any sense. Sorry, there's no known way of saying an English sentence in which you begin a sentence with in and emphasize it.
That's how it's written.
Okay, no, get me a jury and show me how you can say in July, and I'll go down on you. That's just really odd for you to say so.
Okay, you're obviously emotional right now.
No, I'd love to know how you emphasize in July. Impossible, meaningless.
1 minute to broadcast.
Oh.
Ooh, dramatic tension. This pleases me. Be brave.
It's
Doc, maybe we should just get ready for the,
Just let me work my way through this, Michael. I don't want any more surprises when we go live.
Yeah, it wouldn't be right to put an actual audience through this.
Okay. In July, peas grow there. Organic, vegan peas. Of course they're vegan! They're peas! Right. Organic, vegan peas that grow free of toxins under the kind and watchful eye of Mrs. Buckley's radiant goddess energy. Her chakras fully aligned and pregnant with the energies of the cosmos. I'm sorry! This is a joke, right? This is terrible!
I let Cyrus write a few lines.
Thanks, Mark. It's so nice to have the Billy Pullman for a change, you know.
No problem, buddy.
Did you get to the part about the soul being a verb yet? Or the roomy crow? Ooh, or being the change you want to see in the world? I feel like I really captured something with it.
Good Lord, no, I just can't.
20 seconds to broadcast.
Oh, boy.
So pleased.
Well, saved by the bell, Doc. Okay, everyone, let's take our places and remember to have fun.
Well, not too much fun.
Don't listen to him.
T-minus 5, 4, 3, 2, no.
We now know that in the early 20 years of the 20th century, this world was being watched closely by intelligences greater than man's. Intellects vast, cool, and unsympathetic. Wait, what did you mean by no, Ashley?
Countdown aborted.
This displeases me.
What happened, Ash?
Well, we've been preempted.
I'm not like a missile attack.
No, Cyrus. I just received communication from ProductCorp. Apparently, they listened to an episode of our podcast and decided our audience is too selective for their purpose.
But our audience is one of the most smartest, most vibrant, attractive...
Pandering.
Well, what is this populist pack we're being preempted for?
An encore episode of something called Serial.
Cereal? Have you ever heard of that, Michael?
No. If it's not one of my Wired magazines from the 90s, I haven't heard of it. I'm gonna cue it up, though.
Jeez, what about it?
Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed, man. All a total bummer. Pity. Ah, well, I suppose there's nothing for it but to bid adieu to this speculative fiction nonsense and return to reality and our work here in the Hadron Lab. I'm heading to bed to get some rest, and tomorrow it's back to the parallel worlds of the Hadron Rift to collect Esmeralda fragments and heal the multiverse. Well, I hope you'll all join us. Well, good night, everybody.
Good night.
Good night.
Good times.
I said, good night, everybody.
Pandering.
That's pandering.
Well, if you can't beat them.
Good night,
Good night, everybody.
Good night, everybody.
Hadron Gospel Hour. Come on, make some noise today.